dust and stone, where the wild winds moan and groan. Shadows fall on this rugged path, facing ghosts and echoes past. Underneath the blistering sun, battles fought but never won. Haunted eyes and heart of steel, seeking truth, the pain I feel. I'm coming for you. The die is cast in the heart of the West. The shadows mask in the final line, where the strong prevail. I'll face my fate on the Gunsmoke trail. Silent steps through haunted nights, bearing scars from countless fights. Justice calls and vengeance roars. On this path I settle scores. I'm coming for you. The die is cast in the heart of the West. The shadows mask in the final line, where the strong prevail. I'll face my fate on the Gunsmoke trail. With the fire that burns within, breaking chains of every sin. Strengthen my in twilight's grasp, holding on to what won't last. I'm coming for you. The die is cast in the heart of the West. The shadows mask in the final line, where the strong prevail. I'll face my fate on the Gunsmoke trail. As the dawn begins to rise, battle fought beneath the skies. In the land they call purgatory, shadow past and endless stories. I'm coming for you. The die is cast in the heart of the West. The shadows mask in the final line, where the strong prevail. I'll face my fate on the Gunsmoke trail. Oh, I'm a pawn in a larger game, pulled by strings unknown name. I've a score to settle and a truth to unveil. I'll ride till the end on the Gunsmoke trail.
I tell you, if that doesn't get your blood rolling for a shootout, I don't know what will. You must be just a pacifist. That is Gunsmoke Trail. That's a theme to the book, Gunsmoke Trail. I wanted a song that had the lyrics tell. It's like they're speaking from the perspective of every major character in the story. So, Gunsmoke Trail is the first book of the High Nooniverse. There's a plan for many more. I'm actually working on the next book right now, from Dust to Destiny. And if you haven't read it, I would tell you got to go read it. But you pledge in the campaign, and you get a signed copy of the book. It's a great book. I'm biased because I wrote it, but people who have read it said it's great, so I take their word for it. And they paid me. So they gave me money. I didn't pay them for the review. They gave me money. They said it's a great book. Hey, guys, thank you for jumping in. I see we got a lot of viewers. So if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, this is a live stream. So bring them. I'm here to talk to you. I've got somebody in the Discord right now. You got a link to the Discord in the description. Jump in there. We got Ben literally watching from 41,000 feet in the air. That's what's up. That you are a real High Noon posse member right there, sir. I'm gonna try my best to keep this entertaining throughout your flight. I'm your in-flight entertainment, Ben. So Gunsmoke Trail is not just the book, but it is the inspiration for a lot of the pieces that are in this campaign, in the Against the Clock campaign. I'm not sure if you noticed, but they mentioned Purgatory. Purgatory is a central location in the book. And there's the characters that are on the front. That was Monko and Macat. The book features Monko and Macat. It features Bonnie Beecher and the Bandera Blondes. It features the Los Hermanos and Montaña Azul and Governor McGrady. So it's a great book. It technically starts in the middle of the storyline. There's a story going before it. And without going too much into detail, I have somebody working on a screenplay for a television pilot. And if it gets picked up, it's for a High Noon TV show. And if it gets picked up, that will tell the story, which is really the first book. If I write when I write the first book, it's basically going to be about that first season in the show. And so I didn't want to jump into that because I didn't want readers to already know how the show ends. So you have to sit around for that one. What is the stream going to be about? So we're going to talk a little bit about, I'm talking a little bit about the book, and we're going to talk about this pledge match announcement. That may mean nothing to you right now, but it will by the end of the stream, I promise. So there you go. Ben, Ben's High Noon. He's 41,000 feet high noon. So I wanted to talk briefly about the book because there's something that I want to, get off my chest. But it's not just a book. It's not just like a gimmick for the brand. And by the way, I am seeing some bars in my stream. So let me know if there's any pixelation, if it's hard to hear me, if there's any problems with the stream, let me know so I can address that. But it does look like the tubes are getting back to work. So High Noon, Gunsmoke Trail is like I said, it's not just a gimmick where whatever, but it's also It's also it's kind of a mission of mine to put back into stories what I think should be there. And maybe maybe I'm a little too pompous to say that, but I feel like uh, entertainment, like stories, they're either really preachy about like a specific cause, or they're just empty, completely empty. And I don't want my stories to be empty. As a matter of fact, I want to reignite what I believe is what made great stories great, and that is better, lack of a better word, is principles. So Gunsmoke Trail isn't just a cowboy book. It's a book about forgiveness and consequences for your actions. And so I want people who read the book to walk away with that. I want them to walk away with a sense of reflection on the importance of forgiveness and the power of forgiveness, but also the importance of accountability and consequences for the things that you do in life. And so that's really like beneath all the gun smoke and the trailing and the cowboy hats. That's the message. That's the theme. That's the theme of the book. The theme of the book is forgiveness and consequences. And the theme of the book for the next one is what do you do? Like that age-old question of like, if you could do it all over again, would you do it differently, or what would you do with a second chance at life? And that's and how would you make it count? How would you make a second chance count? So it's not just about second chances. It's about making them the most impactful in your in your life, because we're not all guaranteed a second chance in life, but if we're blessed to have one, I would like I would hope that somebody might read that book and be prepared for when that second chance arrives. As we say, High Noon has a lot of luck, and luck is just when opportunity meets preparation. So I'd like you to be prepared for that. So that's enough of that. That's enough of the talking of the Gunsmoke Trail. But that is the book. It is part of the it's part of the campaign. It's an integral part of the campaign. It is the inspiration for not just the Purgatory tile set, but also the Clock Tower and the Vindicator. The Clock Tower and the Vindicator are featured in the book, and about the midway point, the turning point in the story when things come to a head, and the fates you kind of start seeing a turn. You kind of start seeing like where we start to get to the consequences of people's actions. So we are sitting, we're in our campaign, and I want to go over to that briefly here. But we're sitting comfortably at 33,300. So we are nearly back. Thank you guys so much for your support. This wouldn't be possible without you. And the Gunsmoke Trail, that book you can get in. I put multiple pledge levels. I got multiple pledge levels where you can get it. So if we go to the pledge levels, the most accessible pledge level is $30. That gets you a signed copy of Gunsmoke Trail, as well as High Noon poker cards. So for those of you who like to play cards, and then Gunsmoke Trail is included in the all-in pledges. Now I've made some changes in the all-in pledges. So I don't know if you see it, but in the very bottom here, this line, it mentions that this pledge, both of these pledges include $100 credit that you can either use for the pledge itself at the when it comes time for the pledge manager, or you can use it to add on some more product. Maybe you're getting all this for yourself, and this will ship out with plenty of time for Christmas, y'all. Like you will get this stuff in plenty of time to gift it out to those you love, which it's a great gift. I mean, it's one of the best. It's one of the best gifts. And you can in this campaign, everything is 20 to 25% off. So this is the biggest bang for your buck. Okay, this campaign is the biggest bang for your buck right here, especially because you can take $100, you can apply it towards this. So this isn't actually $445. It's actually $345. This is $289. Where are you going to get all this content for $289.50? Where are you going to get at? And that's just if you're selfish. If you are a Scrooge, but if you're a Santa Claus, then you can get this all for the incredible value that is, and you can take that $100 and stretch it out to all the add-ons there. So if you notice, I know that we were having a conversation in the Discord about how we're the numbers pumped up, and I'm getting right to this. I'm going to get right to this. I'm going to pause myself here. I can't see, this is trippy. I'm jumping right into the topic here. So you notice the numbers here, and the number's great. Okay, the number on its own is fantastic, but there's a little bit behind this. Why this 33,000? How did it get here? How did it get here so quickly? Well, part of that, like I said, is you, and then the other part is what we're talking about today. And let me just put it this way: with campaigns like this, you pledge, but you're not really charged unless we reach funding. So the risk level, like if you're like, wow, I really want this. I mean, there's no risk already, right? But like for people who might be holding off because they're waiting to see if there's going to be a real value for the campaign, there's already a value. It's already there. But I understand there's a mentality that has been driven a lot by the way that crowd funds have been going. And I don't blame you at all. I blame the people who do this. Like I'll call it like Come On, and I don't have a problem with Come On. I think their business model works, and they make amazing miniatures. And if I had that kind of money, I would totally throw down for it. Especially if my bride to be wouldn't give me grief about it. I say that as if she's not sitting right here. She's sitting over here, y'all. She's right beyond this camera, but she's a little bit happy with me because one of the reasons why I didn't do a stream today, as I usually do, is because I was outside all day on a super secret surprise project for her, where I built her a fire pit. I built her a fire pit and hung a bunch of lights. It's wonder. It's, you follow me for more life hacks. It's pretty easy to please your ladies, gentlemen. So I didn't have time to do a stream then, but I'm doing a stream now. And so we're talking about this, where we're at and how we got here and what we're going to do, and how we're going to get further. And so I'm talking about like, Come On and throwing money down. But they do FOMO. They drive their campaigns based on fear of missing out. And so what it does is it like people will go all in or get a high tier because it's at a high price. And it's not because the price matches the value of that actual tier. It's that the price matches the value of what might possibly be unlocked if they reach stretch goals. And that's why, and so they throw down a ton of money for something that is not worth that, right? And because what actually is worth that is all the other stuff that they would be entitled to. And I said, come on, but I mean, like everybody does it. And I understand why everybody does it. And so it may look like that's what we're doing here, but we're not. And we broke this down by the numbers in one of our previous live streams. If you look up like High Noon by the numbers, we show that like you're actually getting a heck of a bargain for everything that's included in the tier already. Number one, all that stuff is going to get shipped out, minus the clock tower and the purgatory tiles. But everything else is going to get shipped out right away because I have it in inventory. So you're not going to be waiting 3 years or even a year, or even several months. Like you're going to get the vast majority of your stuff before Christmas time. And that's if you want it now. You can choose to wait until everything gets produced and then we ship it out all at once. But I like splitting it up is not going to be that much more. I've already ran the numbers. I did it with another backer in my Discord. I did a test run, a test shipment, and we were just looking at what it would cost to ship out into piecemeal. And it comes to roughly the same. It's pretty much the same-ish. So I don't mind handling that logistical nightmare of splitting up your shipments and sending them out, if that means getting you your stuff and making you happy. So that's one value right there that I think sets us apart from a lot of campaigns. But the other value is that pledge is priced for the stuff that's already listed in it at the discount of 20 to 25% off. So you're never going to get all that content for that price. You're just not. And so while that value is there, the problem is that it is a steep value. It is a steep price tag. And it leads some people to think, well, is this priced because of the stretch goals or like what? Like it leads them to really not even the question. Like that's where they think, that's where they presume. And I don't blame them. Like I said, that's generally how campaigns are run. That's not how our campaign is run, but it is affecting the way that people pledge. Okay, so I say all this why? Because regardless of that, what is generally lost on the entire industry is that even if it were the case that the value was done in the stretch goals, it doesn't matter because you're not charged until the end of the campaign. Now where the hesitation comes is, well, yeah, but what if I don't cancel? And what if I pledge now at the all in and then you don't reach those stretch goals? And so the value isn't there. And something happened, something came up and I wasn't able to cancel in time and my pledge, my card gets charged. I understand that. I totally get it. I totally understand. So there is that. But beyond that, there's really no risk. Now, even if I were to accept that, though, and be like, okay, well, maybe there is a little bit of risk. There's a little bit of risk for you guys. There's no real risk for me. And just like there's no real risk for these other campaigns out there that are these publishers that are throwing up their campaigns. There's a little bit because there was like an upfront like investment that they made, whether it's time, a little bit of money to put together some marketing material, but it's pretty negligible. There's really no risk to them because, again, if it doesn't fund, they don't have to go into production. They can, pick up their chips that they have and re-strategize and plan and maybe come back a year from now, relaunch, do something new and try again. But there's no skin. There's no real skin in the game. And that's true of me too at that moment. It's true of me too. If this doesn't fund, then, it's going to suck. That's not going to be cool. But, it's not going to be the end of the world either. It's certainly not going to be the end of high noon. I'll go back. I'll re-strategize. I'll figure out something else to do, how else to make this successful. And we'll come try again with a different campaign. Maybe not with this clock tower, though. Not with the clock tower and the Vindicators. If you want that, this has to work. But outside of that, there's no real skin. So I woke up this morning, or actually yesterday, sorry. I woke up yesterday thinking about this. And I was like, how can I put skin in this game? How can I put skin in this game so I can be with you? Because you are, I said it, like there is a little bit of risk there. So I'll give you some skin. How can I match that? How can I match that skin? And so that's where I came up with the Pledge Match program. And so that's what we're talking about today. And we're not going to talk a lot about it unless you guys have a lot of questions. But basically, it goes like this. Anytime, for every single pledge at the Buckaroo level, for every Buckaroo pledge out there that comes in, I have my own pledge. I've got my own pledging account, and I'm already listed. So for every Buckaroo pledge that comes in, I'm matching that. Now, the Buckaroo pledge, if we go here, I'm going to pull it back up. Okay. So here we are. Let's go to the pledge levels. No. Oh, yeah, I guess I can go here. So not the Pilgrim pledge, right? No, not that. But for every Buckaroo pledge, and I chose that one for a reason. But for every Buckaroo pledge that comes in and is active and stays active for the duration of the campaign, you can't come in here and pledge and then cancel. And you certainly can't come in and pledge and cancel and come back in. I see it. I see it, guys. I see what's still active. So for every active Buckaroo pledge that comes in, I'm going to match that. That's you're pledging $80. I'm going to match $25. Okay. So every time an active Buckaroo pledge comes in, I go to my pledge and I bump it up $25. And then every pledge at the Legend pledge or the Maverick pledge, where you're throwing down $445 or $389, okay, and they have to be active. But for every active all-in pledge, I'm bumping my pledge up by $50. That's what I'm doing. That's my skin in the game. Now, we may not fund, right? This may not be successful, in which case, none of us are charged. None of us are charged a dime. But if we are funded, you're charged and I'm charged. Everybody is charged, where it's like Oprah of charging. Everybody gets a charge, and I'm one of them. I'm in this pot with you. Why? Why am I doing this? Because I want this to fund too. I want to unlock this stuff. I want to produce this stuff. I want to expand the High Noon universe. I want this to be successful. I want to ride this bandwagon with you guys. And so this is my way of putting myself into this campaign. And so that's what's happened is you guys have basically helped raise an additional $1,500. How about that? So that was all you. Now imagine people watch this. Imagine you show people this, and this is another thing that I want to talk about. But imagine people see this update, they're like, heck yeah. And so now they're coming in, and we could raise this to the moon. And that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful, because I'll be honest, we will get to a certain point in this campaign where I'm pledging, but really what's really happening is the campaign just isn't making as much profit. And I'm okay with that. I don't know if you were on the stream that we talked about coverage, but I was talking about how, like, there's two ways that a company is sustainable. There's two options for a company to be sustainable, and only two. And the one option is to focus on profit, and that's it. Just laser focus into profit. Find every single way to make as much profit as humanly possible, and that is sustainable. Believe it or not, that is a totally sustainable way to do business, and a lot of companies do that. Unfortunately, it comes at the cost of the consumer. It will ultimately invariably come at the cost of the customer, whether it's their satisfaction or experience or whatever, because profit above all, right? The other way to be sustainable is to focus 100%, laser focus on the customer, laser focus on the customer's experience. If you laser focus on the customer's experience, you will make profit. You will stay in business. You will grow. You'll be massive. You'll risk the challenge. Like you'll constantly be challenged with the temptation of shifting focus over to profit. But as long as you stay focused on the customer, you'll be fine. And you know what? Honestly, like if a company were to start focusing on customer experience, and at some point they are tempted to, focus entirely on profit, if they can make the transition fast enough to get to the profit side and focus entirely on that, they'll be fine too. And vice versa. If somebody's focusing entirely on profit and they're like, you know what, I want to change it up, I want to focus on customers. If they can make that pivot fast enough, and they don't get caught in the purgatory of the middle, they can be sustainable. But those are the only two ways to be sustainable. And so in that other stream, I talked about how, like, I'm focused on the customer. That is how I drive my company. And if you go to the High Noon website and you look at, there's a little section for the blog. There's a blog that I started, and you'll get to really see the inside of how my brain operates and how the company operates. We talk about it. We talk about the customer. We talk about our core values. We talk about how that drives our behaviors towards customer satisfaction. And so you can't be in the middle. You can't be customer and profit. You can, but you can't sit in the middle of the fence. What happens there is something like Mythic Games, where I think their heart was in the right place. They wanted to make really cool games that customers would like to play, that they would love to play. But the problem was they didn't focus entirely on profit, because if they did, they would have focused on one game and one game only, versus steamrolling game after game after game and not releasing any of them and then going bankrupt. And they didn't focus. And if they would have focused on the customer, again, they would have focused on one game and one game only, and released it to the customer base and ensured that the customers were all 1,000,000% satisfied with it before going to the next game. Like, both of these would have resulted in the same outcome, which have been one game, Siege 6 or Six Siege, right? But what happened? They got caught in the middle. They got caught in the middle trying to juggle profit and customers and whatever, and they buried themselves in that middle purgatory area. And that happens with a lot of companies. It's not obviously not just them, but they're just the forefront of mind because a lot of people lost a lot of money, and so did they. They're just a great example. But companies like me over here with the customer, and then companies like Come On over here with the profit, like this is why we can be sustainable. So this is why we're doing what we're doing, because when you focus entirely on the customer or profit, you're going to do something insane. Like you're going to do something radical that within the behavior of that. And so the radical thing that we're doing is we're matching pledges with you. Like people look at that and they go, ugh. they look at that, they get heart palpitations. They're like, are you seriously? Are you for real? Yeah, we are. We are for real, because this is good. This is by our actions, if our actions can help drive behavior and we can contribute to the success, and that success leads to a successful fund of this campaign, and not just successful fund of the campaign, but an unlock of these stretch goals, then that means more content for the customer. And this is great freaking content. Like we've had players in the Discord server playing the content and loving it. And if you haven't done that, I encourage you to join the Discord server. Use the link in the description. The link is in there. I made a note. Who is it? David? Somebody, I think it was some gentleman named David, or said, you need to provide links to the campaign. And I'm like, yes, you're totally right. I did it. There's a link to the campaign. Back the campaign if you haven't already, and jump in the Discord if you haven't already, and play with us, because people are playing the games and they're loving it. And so that's that. Now, there's a way that you can help. There's a way that you can like I'm bumping up my pledge, right? I'm doubling down. I'm pledging multiple times. There is a way that you too can pledge multiple times, and in a way that you can afford. Okay. And that is this: when you come to pledge, don't just come by yourself. Come with a friend. Bring 2 friends. Pledge with 2 friends. Bring 2 friends. When you come over to the website to make a pledge, do it in the presence of 2 other friends and have them pledge too. And then tell them to do the same thing, because you'll effectively be pledging 3 times. And then if they do it, then so forth. I mean, you've been to an MLM, so you know how that works. So there's that. We got another pledge during this whole conversation. Oh my gosh. And that's a wild one. I think I'm going to I think I need to bump up my pledge $50. Whoever that was, you're a legend, sir, or a maverick. I don't know which one. I don't know which one, but thank you very much for doing that. Yes, please cost me money. I mean, this is the part where this is actually why I built the fire pit and hung the lights, because I figured my fiance would hear me say this stuff and she'd be like, "What?" But yeah, no, cost me money, please, because this is how we become successful. And thank you very much for that pledge. You're gonna love it. And if you're somebody who hasn't actually played the game, here's something to know about the Discord server. So, and this goes to what I'm talking about customer service and focusing entirely on the customer. I want to be the most accessible game publisher in the universe. Okay, High Nooniverse, universe. I want to be the most accessible publisher. So I run the Facebook page, or the Facebook group. I run the Facebook page. I run the Discord server, and I have literally 2 phones, both of which have the Discord app on them. So if you leave a message in the Discord group, I'm going to get that message. I live in, like, you live in my back pocket, and I live in your back pocket. Like that. I don't know any other game publishing company out there that is as accessible. I'm sure there is one. I'm sure there is one out there with a library of games that you can buy right now, and a fan base. I mean, we've got 300 plus in the Discord, which is, that's good. That's really good. But we're reaching 2,000 members in our Facebook group, and High Noon is. I mean, we've got thousands of customers who play High Noon, and so it's a big it's an undertaking. It's a massive undertaking. But again, if you go to my website and you read my blog and you read about our core values and you read about the final value product and you read what drives High Noon, how I operate, you'll understand that it's a require. Like, if I want to truly be as transparent, if I truly want to be the most transparent game publishing company in the world, and I truly want to be the most accessible game publishing company in the world, then this is what I have to do. It drives everybody I love nuts, but it is the case. So if you have any questions or comments or concerns or whatever, you can reach me directly through my cell phone, not with my cell phone number, but you can reach me directly through my phone, through Discord, or through the Facebook group. Like, I don't hide. You can literally message me there. And again, I have the Facebook app on my phone. So the Messenger app on my phone is there. You can reach me. I'm not hiding. I refuse to hide. And I refuse to be above it all. There's publishers out there who they're kind of accessible. They're accessible in the way that they have their own website where they put up their own thoughts and whatever. And you can leave comments, and they may respond to the comments. They may respond to all the comments, but they don't have a messaging service. Like, you can't just reach out to them at any time. I can't count on my fingers and toes, or my fingers and toes and my fiance's fingers and toes and my dog Taco's paw toe things. I cannot count on all of it. How many personal messages I've gotten in my Facebook, just on my Facebook, just in my Messenger. And I respond to all of them because I'm that accessible. And I will be that accessible for as long as High Noon is alive. And so I just want to put that out there, because part of that is actually playing the game. So like, I've been playing, I played 2 games back to back yesterday. I will play it. If you want to play High Noon, we have it on Tabletopia. I need to, you know what? I'm going to create a picture with a little computer and the game on the computer and put it on the website on the campaign page. So you can really see that, like, yeah, no, you can play High Noon right now. That was something that I did with I started that with the first campaign. And Justin, I see your comment, brother. I'm going to get to this. Okay. I promise. I'm going to get to that. I'll get to your comment. But when I first launched my Kickstarter campaign, my very first one back in 2020, people were telling me to put it online, to put it on a virtual tabletop. And at first I was hesitant because I didn't want anybody to steal the idea, but then I was like, nah, who cares? So then it was just a matter of what platform to choose. And there's a platform called Tabletop Simulator, and then there's another one called Board Game Arena. These are like 2 huge ones. But I was approached by these guys behind the platform Tabletopia. And we didn't do a huge, like people will like analyze a platform to death. And they'll be like, well, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that, and therefore I'm out. I did not analyze it to death. I said, how much is it for the platform? And they were like, it's totally free. It costs nothing. I was like, it's free to me? They're like, yes. I'm like, but what about the player? They're like, no, it's free to everybody. And that was it. That was all I needed to know, because I wanted to be able to provide High Noon to everybody to play and experience for no cost, for absolute free, no cost to them. Why? Because I wanted people to play the game to see if they actually like the game before they give me their money. I tell people, I do when I worked for this other business in sales, I would tell people when I would be talking to their customers, they'd be like, so what are you selling? And I'd be like, solutions. And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, no. Like, I don't sell a product. I sell a solution. Now, if that solution isn't for you, then I don't want you buying it, because it's not a solution for you. I believe that this is a solution for you, but if you don't think it's a solution, then I don't want your money, because you're going to be super disappointed. You're going to be out that money, and I'm going to be disappointed in myself, and then probably I'm going to be disappointed in the Yelp review that you leave me. So I wanted the same exact thing for High Noon. I wanted people to be able to play the game and experience the game and figure out, is this a game for them? Now, I firmly believe that High Noon is a great game that just about anybody will love. But I know there's people out there that don't like competitive games. They like those the Euro games where you're like doing your own thing in your own part of the table. And High Noon's not for you, right? It's not for that player. There's people who just don't like direct competition with each other. I understand that. High Noon might not be for them. But for most people who play games to pew pew each other, I think High Noon's perfect. I think it's a fantastic game. Number one, because it's designed to be super easy, super easy to play. So you can like, it doesn't, like, I tell people, if you're not a master of this game in 3 rounds, I failed miserably at my job. I want people to be like, understand all the nuances of High Noon within 3 rounds. And that doesn't mean 3 playthroughs of the game. I mean, the game is 12 rounds. By the 3rd round, you're a pro at this game. You're an expert. Okay. So that's how simple High Noon is. And it's designed that way deliberately, because this is designed to be the kind of game that you introduce other people who are like normies, who don't play games, to games. Because normies, when they hear board games, what do they think? You know, Monopoly, right? They think, oh, yeah, Chutes and Ladders or Candyland or whatever. And those are not games, right? Or they think like crazy, like long games like Risk or Axis and Allies, which I love. I love Axis and Allies. Risk, I have almost every version of variant of Risk. Nobody will play it with me, but I love it. But why won't they play it with me? Because it takes forever. and people don't have that time investment, right? So most people, when they think of board games, it's the way they think about it. And so I wanted to introduce something to people. Like, I wanted to give, if you love board games and you want to introduce your friends to board games so that they will start showing up at game night and playing board games, I made High Noon for you, so that you have not just so that you have a game that everybody wants to play all the time. I mean, obviously, I want you only playing High Noon forever in perpetuity until the end of time. But like, High Noon is a tool. It's a tool to get people into board games. That's what it's all about. So High Noon is a super simple game. And I wanted people to be able to experience it for free, to understand it. And then if they decided they want to give me money, they could. And so I chose Tabletopia to do that. So you can play High Noon right now. The starter set, you can play that right now on Tabletopia for free. If you go to Tabletopia, look up High Noon, or just say play.highnoongame.com, you'll get it. You'll get access to it. But if you go to our Tabletopia, or if you go to our Discord server, I have a link in there where you can play the version with all of my expansions. And the tile sets that the Purgatory tile sets are in there. Governor McGrady is in there. I haven't even released him. Miroslav Zorek is in there. I haven't released him. I'm going to be releasing Sitting Bears Warband in there. And I'm going to be I'm going to be putting in the Kenzo Envoy and the Akuga Shinobi if we get close enough. I mean, my all-in backers get access to that already. But I make this accessible to you guys, again, so you can experience it and see if this is a value to you. I want you to try it. And again, if you don't like it, then don't back it. I want your money, but I do not want you to be dissatisfied. The last thing I want is for somebody to get this game and regret it, to have buyer's remorse. And that's why I try my best to back up the value of the game, not just with the game itself, but with the service that we provide, with the accessibility to me that you will have. Like, I have Dune Imperium. I love Dune Imperium. My fiance and I play it all the time. I have it on my phone. And so we play virtually on our phones all the time. We'll be sitting next to each other. We'll be playing Dune. And then I have the board game itself, and I have the expansions, right? And anytime people come over to play, if we're not playing High Noon, we're playing Dune. But Direwolf, the whoever made that game, I don't even know who made that game. Why? Because they're not accessible. I mean, maybe they are. Maybe somebody's watching this right now and they're like, Dwight, you can reach them right now. Like, here's their phone number. Maybe. But for all I know, for everything I've experienced, you can't get that. Like, they don't exist to, like, they're not right there. You're not in their pocket. So, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. I still love them and I still love their game. But I want to be more. I want High Noon to be more than that. And so I'm hoping that this level of service can make up for any maybe slight dissatisfaction you might have with the game. The game's great. You're going to love the game. But on top of that, you're going to love the service that you're going to get with the game. And that's me. So we got some comments here. I'm new to High Noon franchise. I'm excited to pledge all in. However, you mentioned new content and old content. Which pieces count as new content? Sorry, this question might be more involved than selection. No, it's not. It's not. So I'll show it to you. I'll show you right now. So if we come over to, let's go to the pledge levels, and I'll just show you. So we'll go to the all-ins. So basically, all this stuff here, except for that. This Purgatory tile set is new content, so that will be shipped out later. But the High Noon Starter, but that's it. Like the clock tower in these buildings, that's new content. That these things right here. But Grizzly Greenwood, he's in stock. The Jenkins brothers are in stock. I just played them. Check out the live stream. I played the Jenkins brothers versus Grizzly Greenwood and whooped Grizzly Greenwood, which is hilarious because it was a challenge. I know the player was a little rough with Grizzly Greenwood. He's got to practice with him, but the thought was that the person with the most characters in their posse has the advantage because they can just attack from all angles, and the person with not a lot that many characters, it has that disadvantage. And I annihilated his 4 characters with my 3. It was fun. The game lasted maybe like 30 minutes. You should check it out. It's a nice, fun, quick match. But Grizzly Greenwood's in stock. The Jenkins brothers are in stock. Monko and McCatter are in stock. Father Franklin, the Pine Box machine gun and priest, is in stock. Nelson Abernathy, the armored outlaw that lights buildings on fire and drops smoke bombs like it's his job, that's in stock. Los Hermanos, the banditos that respawn and throw bottle bombs, are in stock. Bandero Blondes are in stock. They're one of my favorite posses to play. The Blood Creek Bushwhackers is a great posse. They're in stock. They get a bad rap. I don't think a lot of people play them enough, but they're fantastic posse. They add a lot of chaos to the board. And of course, the High Noon starter set's in stock. The marketplace is in stock. And the minis crate is in stock. It's all in stock. It's all there. The chips and gold, everything. The things that will be in production, that will go into production, are the bank, the jail, and the clock tower, and Purgatory tile set. And there's a reason why I chose those as the things that we are primarily launching for this campaign. The reason why I did that is because I don't want you waiting forever for these things to get produced. Like, really, all we're waiting on is the final artwork, and then they're already working on the cut lines. Like, I gave them the cut lines at the factory, so they're already working on the prototypes. Once those prototypes are approved, the cut lines are approved. It's just skinning them. You just skin them and print them, and they're all like, it's all like all this stuff. It not only is it just print, like it's cardboard or the polystyrene sheets. It's just print. It's like printing papers, like printing business cards, and then it's light because they're small. They're flat. It comes in a flat thing. So you're not only are you not going to have to wait for years for this to be produced, but you're not going to have to wait months and months or even years for this to get delivered, because I'm likely not going to ship this on a boat. I didn't learn that mistake. This is all paper and cardboard. I'm flying this here, man. I'm flying this sucker here. So the whole reason why I prioritized this stuff is so that I can produce it quickly and deliver it quickly. I really want you guys to have this stuff in your hands. But the vast majority of it is in stock right now. And as soon as the campaign's over, you let me know. Do you want to wait for this, the clock tower to get produced, or do you want this stuff now? If you want it now, I'll give you the shipment quote to ship it to you, and it generally. And so, just so you guys know, I use Pirate Ship to ship out all my stuff. And the reason why is because what Pirate Ship does is it gives you options on it, like calculates everything super quick, and it gives you options on the rates. It's so easy to ship out everything, and it also bargains. It uses the collective bargaining of these different contracts to keep the rates low. Now that I've fulfilled a ton of stuff out of Pirate Ship, I'm like, I will never use a fulfillment center. I just won't. If you're a publisher right now, if you're a game creator and you're looking for a fulfillment center to fulfill your stuff, and you're in the United States, if you're in the States, I tell you, man, just park this stuff in your garage or somewhere. Get yourself a storage unit if you have to, and then just use Pirate Ship. You do not need a third-party fulfillment center. You just don't. So there's that. Kalini says, just dropped a Maverick pledge. Heck yeah. Yeehaw! That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, sir. You're going to love it. You're going to love that Maverick pledge. Ben says, This is a bridge. So it says, the dedication you demonstrated back at Essen Spiel in 2023 really stood out to me. You went out of your way to squeeze in an entire game with a friend and myself, despite scheduling a scheduled meeting that you ended up rescheduling and waiting. A genuine gesture. Had a blast back then, so I'm glad to be part of this now. Thank you, Ben. I greatly appreciate that. And you know what? Honestly, it was an honor. I was so I'd rather play a game with you than go to a meeting, than go to a business meeting. I'd rather play with you guys. I love playing with you guys. I love playing with fans of High Noon. I love playing with people who've never experienced High Noon. I just love it. You know, one of the I love going to conventions. I try to hit up every convention that we can hit up, and we've got a really good schedule coming in 2025, and we got a good couple of events that just showed up in our calendar this year. So we're going to close out this year strong in the event side, but we got a really good calendar of events for next year, and I love going to them. I don't love packing up the van. I don't love packing up the U-Haul with all the stuff. I don't love setting up the booth. I know my fiance certainly doesn't love it, but it's so worth it when I'm able to just go and sit down with people I've never met. I don't know them from Adam, and they don't know High Noon, and we just sit down and we just start playing, and we're just like, I don't know, we're like, it's not just the game, it's what's happening at the table, like the jokes that we're cracking, the conversations we're having, the laughter, the fun, and like I feel like I make a new friend every time I play, and when I get to see people who maybe I'm not playing with them, but I'm watching them play the game, and I'm watching them make these like lasting memories where they're laughing around the table. It's like it's just such a rewarding feeling to know that I was a part of that. So that's why I love playing High Noon. And if you guys are out there, you know, and you want to play, my time zone is Eastern Standard, so like it's almost 10 o'clock right now. And I promised the bride to be that we would spend some time some time cuddling and watching a movie. So I do have to do that coming up here soon. But if you can, I will stay up late like any other time. But just know that like I'm Eastern Standard. So whatever time that zone it is for you, that's what it is for me. And beyond that, if you want to play, I'm usually the one asking people if they want to play. I'm usually the one pushing for a game. But yeah, just jump in the Discord and say, hey, I want to play. When's the next time we can play? And have some times, if you could do me a favor, like have some times already in your mind as to when you would be available, so that I can just get to scheduling it right away. But that's basically that. So thank you guys. That was basically my update that I wanted to share today. It looks like we are just on the cusp of 34,000. I'd like to see if we can break it. Can we bust through 34,000 tonight? That'd be wonderful. So again, as you know, as I was telling you guys, for those of you newcomers coming in, I'm doing a pledge match program. So every Buckaroo pledge that comes in that is active throughout the campaign, I will adjust my pledge. I'm pledging $25 on top of every Buckaroo pledge, and for every all-in pledge, Maverick or Legend, I'm pledging $50. So this can go up. This can rise pretty quickly here if we all work together. And as I was saying, when you come to pledge, I encourage you, like, try to get 2 other people to pledge with you. Like, try to get 2 other, like let people know that you're pledging on this game. Share it wherever you're at, and say, hey, you got to join me. Come pledge with me. Tell me what pledge you got, and then I'll get a pledge, and we can, whatever. But just, try to coordinate that, because that's gonna steamroll us forward. Now, I got to tell you, I check every morning. In the beginning of the morning, I go through and I check every pledge that's active. So if somebody cancels a pledge, that means I'm canceling mine. So this can go either way, guys. This can go either way. I want it to go up, but it can go down. So we want to encourage people to stay in too. Okay, it's not just enough to put the pledge in. We got to stay in. And remember, you're for those of you who are going all in. By the way, and this is, if you've missed this update, this is a good update for you guys who might be considering all in or have gone all in. You didn't hear this. I sent out an update sometime last week. I really want you guys to love this and to really feel like you got a great value out of this. I'm already giving you a great value. It's already there, but I want you to be certain of it. So on top of the $100 credit that you're going to get, if we go to here, let me show you something here, okay? Because we're looking at Governor McGrady. If we go to the stretch goals here, and we look at our stretch goals, and I want to show you one because a couple of people might have missed this. I showed it off at one of our live streams, but I don't think everybody was there for it. But not the add-ons, the stretch goals. Okay, here we are. So we started hitting stretch goals at 71,000. Okay, we're a bit a ways from that. I think we'll hit it, but we're a ways from that. Now that is the backwater tile set, and a couple of those tiles are currently available on the Tabletopia. So if you want to play with those, you can try them out. You can go onto our Discord and try them out. The bounty missions are on the Tabletopia. You can try out the bounty missions. They're heck of fun. Everybody's so intimidated by them, but I'm telling you, guys, the next time we play, okay, if you're new, I will play a normal game with you. If you've played High Noon, with me a few times, the next time we're playing, we're using the bounty missions. I'm not letting you talk. No ands, ifs, or buts about it, y'all. Now at 139, we're going to hit the water tower. And for those of you who haven't seen it, here's the prototype of the water tower. So it's got some areas that you can run underneath and use for combat. It's going to have this awesome acrylic ladder system that you can go up, and it's acrylic, so it's not jarring. And then up here is where you can hide behind the barrel, or you can grab the Quigley rifle that is an unlimited range rifle that doesn't count against your inventory. Now, if you haven't played High Noon, you don't know what that means, but it's a very powerful rifle, and it comes with its own loot crate. So it's a legendary loot. It's technically legendary loot, which means it has a specific starting location. Anybody can loot it. Everybody knows where it is. Everybody's gonna be fighting for it. The water tower is gonna be a wild addition. We're gonna get to the expansion loot volume 2. That is gonna introduce reloading mechanics. So people who have been discarding their rifles or their shotguns or whatever, you're not gonna have to do that with the expansion loot volume 2. You're gonna get boxes of ammo out of this that you can reload your weapons. You can choose to keep a weapon even if it's unloaded, and you can draw more ammunition. And we also got dum-dum rounds in there. We got incendiary rounds in there. There's a lot of colorful stuff in the expansion loot volume 2. It's a really fun one. I'm going to do reprints of the instruction manual and the loot decks, because there was some minor typos and glitches from back in the day, because I produced those a long time ago. You can get the new instructions. You can find them on our website. Everything is updated on our website, and I always update the stuff on our website. But you can get it there. But reprints for all that will be this, and everybody will get this. Like, this is not an add-on. Like, all these will become add-ons, except for the all-in. Anybody who goes all-in, you'll get these. You'll get all of this if we unlock it. Everybody else is just gonna have to buy it. But this, if we unlock this, everybody's gonna get a copy of that, because I think that's just the right thing to do. Now, Governor McGrady, this is where I wanted to get to. Governor McGrady is sitting way over here at 500,000. And based on our trajectory, I just don't see it happening. Now, I could be wrong. Like, who knows? Who knows what could happen? Like, any of you might be like major influencers, or who knows if a major influencer might stumble across High Noon. Maybe you tell them about it and they come check it out, and then they talk about it, and then we wake up one day and there's 1,000 backers who are back in High Noon, and we know, next thing we know, we're at 1.5 or something, and I'm now scrambling to figure out what the next stretch goal is. But I did this specifically for exactly what I was talking about. I want to be able to produce things fast and delivered fast. That's the objective of this campaign. When I start bringing in posses, the models, the minis of the posses, that takes a long time. It takes about 6 to 8 months of quality controls, prototyping, all that to make sure they're right. So Governor McGrady would take a while to do if we got to him. So that's why I put him way far away. Now, if you're an all-in guy, here's the thing, something to understand. This is not Come On Games, okay? This is not we are not a company that does fear of missing out. What you're backing, like, the only thing that you should fear missing out on is the Clock Tower and the Vindicator. Okay, those are exclusives for this campaign. But at some point in time, even if we don't unlock the Water Tower now, we're going to produce the Water Tower, right? It's just going to have to take a long time to get there because we have to grow organically. Well, the same goes for Governor McGrady. Governor McGrady has been in the works since the very beginning. For 4+ years, I've had Governor McGrady in the background, and I've played him here at the house, and I've played him a couple times on Tabletopia. And so he's going to happen. Like, with or without this campaign, he's going to happen. So my pledge to you, okay, is for those of you who pledge all in at the Maverick or the Legend pledge, and you stay all in through the completion of this campaign, regardless of where we get to. Say we only get to 50,000. We don't even unlock a stretch goal, but you stayed, okay? You stayed in it. When we produce, I'm going to have a list. I'm going to have a list of everybody who pledged. I have a list. BackerKit does a great job at keeping lists and being able and allowing me to easily organize those lists. They're like the list masters. They should call themselves Backer List, okay? They're great at lists. You guys, Legend and Mavericks, you guys are on a list, okay? And if you stay on that list throughout the campaign, then I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that list. And when we get to the point where we produce Governor McGrady organically, or maybe we do another BackerKit, maybe we do another campaign and we just focus on Governor McGrady. Who knows? I don't know. But at some point, we're going to produce him. And when we do, you're going to get him. I'm going to ship him to you. You need to pay for shipping, but that's it. Because you went all in and you stayed all in. I'm going to send that to you. Now, for those of you who are new, okay, there's a lot of you watching this who are part of my Ride or Die posse. And some of you might be asking what that is. You're about to find out. If you're watching this and you're brand new and you're hearing this, you're probably thinking, yeah, sure, right, okay. I made a pledge the very first time when I first launched a Kickstarter. It was after my second Kickstarter, that it was basically a relaunch of the first one. And I had a pledge on there that was really big. It was like $300 or $400. I think it was $400. And it was basically for everything that was in the campaign. But the thing was I was a nobody at that point. Now I'm technically a nobody right now, but look, I've got games. Okay. They're published. They're in stores. They're in inventory. People are buying them. I'm delivering them. Like, I'm a publisher. I'm a game publisher. And I have the bona fides now. I'm legitimate. Okay. But back then I wasn't. Not only was I an unknown, but I was literally a nobody that there was no reason to trust me. I was just some anonymous person on the internet, with the exception of doing these live streams, you get to see me. So I would, back then, I mean, it still happened today, but there was like a torrent of scams on Kickstarter, to the point where there was a guy who did this whole web series called Kick Scammers. And it was all about Kickstarters that it wasn't that they just didn't work out. Like, they were total scams. And people gave millions, tens of millions of dollars to these campaigns. Tens of millions of dollars. I think it was up to like $100 million in total lost by by people, like backers. That they would never see it again, and they would never see any of the things that they gave the money to. It was just gone. Because these people were scam artists. They were con artists. And I launched right around the time, like my ship came right out of that storm, right? Like we were sailing right past that, but the taste of all those scams was still fresh in people's mouths. And here I am, a nobody, a potential scam, asking people to pledge $400 for an idea, for a concept, for a promise that they would get this thing, like a trust me bro, $400 for a trust me bro. And there were people willing to do it. They were willing to do it despite all this past nonsense with all these scams. So I told those people, I made a pledge to those people. This is way back then. I said, listen, if you're willing to do that for me, who you don't know, you've never met, you've never even tried this game, you have no idea what this is. This is just like, you're literally betting on a fantasy. and trusting me. And you are making this possible. Like I wouldn't be able to make this stuff if it weren't for people who pledged that kind of money. Like everybody's helping out, but these guys got us to the moon, right? And I was like, because you're doing that, here's what I'm going to do. You guys are on a list. I'm making a list and I'm calling it my ride or die posse. And you guys, as part of my ride or die posse, I'm going to organize you. I'm going to make a group for you. You can join the group. I'm going to have you on a backup list. And basically, not only are you going to get all this stuff, but I'm going to give you everything we produce until the end of time. Like until we go out of business or something, like until an asteroid hits the Earth. If we make something that is high noon, it's got high noon on it, and we produce it, you're getting it. All you need to do is pay for shipping. And sure enough, it was something like 190 backers did that, and I have the list. I have the list of all those ride or die backers, and I've got some of them in a ride or die group on the website. I've got them in a ride or die channel on the Discord, and here we go. I got a ride or die here in the show. Thanks, Quinn. Appreciate the shout out. And I gave him. It came hell or high noon. I got him everything that came out of that campaign. But when we launched this campaign, I sent out an email to all of the ride or dies. And then I answered messages from all the ride or dies who didn't get my email. But I let all my ride or dies know, guys, you are my ride or dies. You made everything possible to get to where we are. My pledge to you, do a thing. As long as we reach funding and this stuff goes into production, you're getting a copy. You're getting everything we produce from this campaign. Free. You don't need to do anything. And there were ride or dies in the Discord, and they were like, what do I need to do? What pledge do I get to make sure that I get the 3D buildings? I'm like, you don't. You don't need to do it. Don't do it. You're going to get it. If we make funding, you're going to get a copy. I've got it budgeted. I spent weeks working on a campaign budget that would ensure that I could fulfill my obligations to my ride or dies, fulfill my obligations to you guys, fulfill my obligations to everybody, and still walk away with a little bit of profit to pay for upcoming trade shows, pay for branding, pay for everything else. Okay. I already took care of it. All you have to do is like tell your friends, like tell them you're a ride or die, tell them to come in and pledge on something, tell them how much you love the game. And I still had people in the ride or die that were like, no, I'm backing it. I'm pledging. Because that's who they are. Those are my ride or dies. They're awesome, but I would have given them anything. They don't need to do anything, okay? And I've committed to that. I've made good on it. I continue to make good on it. That was my pledge to them. That's how you can trust. And when a ride or die comes in here and says right here, can confirm he's a man of his word, I'm a man of my word, because that's it. If I don't have that, I got nothing. So when I tell you, if you go all in and you stay all in, okay, and we get through this campaign and we get funded, then whether we make Governor McGrady today, tomorrow, next year, 10 years from now, whenever he comes out, you're going to get him. I'm going to send him to you. That's my pledge to you. You don't get the ride or die stuff, okay? I can't keep doing ride or die pledges. I thought about it. I thought about doing another ride or die pledge, but it was going to be like $2,000. It would be like limited 10 spots. But I can't do that. I will go bankrupt if I keep doing ride or dies. But I can do this. Why? Because he doesn't cost that much. He doesn't cost $500,000 to produce. I did that for economies of scale and also to make sure that we were covered for the campaign. But just like when Kaman does a campaign where it's like every $75,000, they unlock a mini. And by the time they've gotten to those minis, they're in the millions of dollars, right? So they're producing thousands and thousands of that one singular mini. That mini, that would cost me 10 cents, cost them about 2. So you give them $75,000 and they give you 2 cents. That's a deal and a half. Governor McGrady, it doesn't cost 2 cents, but he's not I can afford it, because if we go into that production, there's not going to be 5,000 of you. I mean, if there's 5,000 of you guys going all in, again, I'm an economy of scale. I can produce 20 or 30,000 Governor McGrady's, right? But there's not going to be 5,000. I don't see 5,000 of you coming in. I see maybe, I mean, I was like best case scenario, maybe 200, right? Like maybe like we did, like if we did the numbers from last time, man, we would crush it, right? But maybe we only have 50. Okay, maybe we only have 30 all-in backers. I can afford to send out 30 Governor McGrady's. You know how many Governor McGrady's I'm gonna have to produce to do a production run of Governor McGrady's? And you're the one paying the shipping, right? So like this is, and by the way, this is how I communicate. I'm like completely transparent. Like so you're gonna, I'll tell you all the ins and outs of how this stuff works. So I can afford it. Like it can afford to happen, provided that you stay all in. So so that's that. That is my pledge. That's my pledge to all of you guys. So in summary, the Gunsmoke Trail book is awesome. You should totally check it out. You can get it for $30 in the pledge. That helps us go a long way. We're doing a match pledge program where every Buckaroo pledge that's active through the campaign, through the entirety of the campaign, I'm pledging $25. For every Magic or a Maverick or Legend pledge that remains active throughout the campaign, I'm pledging $50. This is going to help us get to our goal, but we need your help too. So we need you telling the world about this campaign. Tell your groups, tell your Facebook groups. If you know any influencers, if you know any people in the media, tell them. I'm always here to do interviews. I'm always here to play a game with somebody. I'll do a virtual game. If you've got somebody serious that's a serious reviewer and they're willing to like cut some time out right now, then to review the game, I'll send them a copy of the game. But we do need reviews, right? So like if you know anybody in those areas, let them know. Spread the word, and then grab your friends, drag them kicking and screaming to the computer screen, and force them at gunpoint to pledge. Don't in Minecraft terms, I mean, of course, obviously. So Mr. Spinner, in summary, Dwight is awesome and people should help him by supporting this man of his word. Yeah. And then finally, if you go all in and you remain all in through the campaign, not only are you getting the $100 credit that you can use towards the pledge, so it's not even going to cost you what the sticker price is, or you can use that on more add-ons, would help me a lot, because then you're kind of getting rid of my inventory. This is another thing, is like, this is helping me make room. Okay, this stuff is eating up a ton of my room at my office, and everybody's giving me grief about it. So this is helping me. You could use that $100 towards more stuff. You can gift that stuff out to your friends. You could use it to buy more chips and gold. You're going to need it, guys. You're going to need it. One pack of chips and gold is not enough for the all-in. I'm telling you, one pack of chips and gold is not enough for the starter set. Okay, and I'm telling you, I'm completely transparent. Okay, so here's the thing. You know why that is? Because I deliberately designed them like hot dogs and hot dog buns. Deliberately, like I used to get like the 12 pack of hot dogs and then the 8 pack of hot dog buns. So it was never even. You had to buy more packs. Yeah, that was my one scam that I threw on you guys. But at the same time, you don't have to have all of your stuff be 3D. You can mix and match, but you're gonna want them. You're gonna want a ton of packs. And I'll tell you, like, I think I play, like, I filled up a container with it, and I think I used 12. It's a good number. 12 packs. That's what you, and for, like, what is how much is it? How much is a pack of chips and gold on this campaign? $9. So you could get 10. You could get 10 more chips and gold with that $100 credit. And that's just enough. How about that? Because you'd have the 10 plus the one that comes in the all-in pledge. You'd have 11. Heck, you know what? You could get 11. Oh, guys, posse. You could take the $100 and get yourself 11 more packs of chips and gold, which would mean you have 12 packs of chips and gold and $1 left over for something. And there you go. Bob's your uncle, as my fiance says. So there's that. And then if you stay in, I will ship you Governor McGrady post haste once we produce him. Once he's in stock, you get him. I don't know when that is, but we'll continue doing this stuff. This is not the first campaign High Noon has done. This will likely not be the last campaign High Noon ever does. But it does. I mean, our success does ride on the success of this campaign. So, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for spreading the word. Thank you for pledging and staying in. And if you want to play High Noon with me, use the link in the Discord to join the Discord and let us know that you want to play, and I will be right there to play with you. And if you haven't backed the campaign, use the link in the description of this YouTube video to back the campaign. Beyond that, share this video, share it around, share it in a Board Game Geek or something. I don't know. But until next time, I'll see you on the other side.